Hello and welcome to the second edition of Silly Point. My name is Dhananjay Chak, also known as DJ, and I'm joined by two fantastic people on this episode of Silly Point. I've got Shrivar with me, I've got Rajat with me. Welcome to Silly Point. We're going to discuss everything that's smart and not so smart on and off the field. And this is brought to you by your favorite neighborhood cafe, Social.
Hi guys, I'm Shrivar. I am from Team Social. I'm actually a part of the content and the creative strategy team. Stay in Calcutta, born and brought up in Calcutta, so obviously love the KKR. Not the best of times for us, but sure, I'm still going to support them. Also run a podcast of my own, but really excited to do episode 2 with you guys.
Hey guys, this is Rajat. I am a talent and business head at Odex. I am also a festival director at Radun. I program and curate music for W Hotels in India. I am from Delhi, but I am an RCB fan, die-hard RCB fan, and really good times for us, keeping in mind what's happening in IPL 2021.
Thank you guys for tuning into the second edition of this show, and thank you for the awesome comments and feedback for the first episode. Like the last episode, guys, we're going to do a little bit of a rundown of the on-field action first. We've had 2 weeks since we last recorded and put out our show. And then we're going to go into the off-field action, right? And we'll talk about everything that's happening off the field. Rajat, you are our on-field man. Tell us the 5 big talking points from the last 2 weeks.
Number 5 for me would be KKR versus CSK. What I actually want to talk about that game was Andre Russ and Pat Cummins. While I was watching Andre Russ hit those sixes, I was actually recalling that conversation of ours, and I was like, okay, he has not lost it. And
Yep.
wow,
See?
wow,
What an
the
inning,
way he
right?
was hit.
Yeah, but Shri, does KKR have to be in a hopeless position for Dre Russ to do anything? 31 for 5, chasing 200? Is that
No,
when
I mean,
Dre
you know-
Russ comes to the party?
So that's the thing, right? Like I think J. Russ, the last time, and it's especially interesting how we were discussing this in the last time, was the whole pressure factor. And like, probably he was under pressure and then that's why he didn't perform with either with the ball or the bat. This time, I mean, as you mentioned, 31 for 5, and I think was a very desperate situation for us. But we did know that we have somebody in the stable who can take it home, who can cross the legs with that. But great innings. I mean, looking really forward to whatever's next for. It's his birthday today, guys. At the time of recording. And so
Happy
of course,
birthday. And
happy birthday to Russ.
RCB fans would have been hoping the 49 all-out would be in danger after they were 31 for 5.
We have to give credit to Pat Cummins also, the way he battled along with Dre Russ. And after Dre Russ actually was more scary when he actually went it to the last over and basically got out and stuff like that. But again, he was also giving the chills to CSK that, I can also bat, and I'm not just like number 1 T20 bowler or number 1 test bowler in the world, but I am actually a great batsman as well, and I can smash it to all parts of the park. Yeah.
Number 4, Rajat. Tell us number 4 on your list.
Number 4 would be the super over between the Delhi Capitals and the Sunrisers Hyderabad. I think Delhi should have won the game in the main match. And
I think you can say that about
I like
pretty
DJ's
much
expression.
every game we're going to talk about, but okay.
yeah. Jagdish Suchit, I'm not sure if you guys saw. I was seeing the game and I was like, okay, it's done. With the bowling Delhi has, Avesh Khan. Okay, I want to actually talk about him. He has been really impressing me. I mean, I'm not sure about you guys, but the way this guy has been bowling, even the game which we will talk about, the RCB game, he actually bowled really well. He got Kohli out. He bowled really well. And I was thinking, with Avesh and Rabada in the bowling and Sunrisers, almost everyone was out. I was like, this is over. But Suchit, he actually made it. And of course, Kane, being Kane, he was there. They actually dragged the game to the super over. And first super over of IPL 2021.
Yeah.
And the short run, DJ, the short run by David Warner is, I think that actually cost them.
Interesting you mentioned Jay Suchit. I thought that performance by him, I think he scored 14 of 6, right?
Yeah.
And he bowled 4 overs for 21 when
Yes.
Delhi were going at
Yes.
8 and over. with no loss.
Yeah.
That performance, and T20 is such a compressed game. You don't realize how impactful these tiny performances. You remember the Kanes and you remember the Rashids of the world, but this guy I think he used to play for Mumbai a few years ago, and he's moved to the Sunrisers Hyderabad.
He used to actually play for Chennai also in between. After Mumbai, he used to play for Chennai as well, and then he moved to the Sunrisers.
And I was very, very impressed by his batting. He just kept his head on, and to take a player like Rabada apart, because Kane looked tired. And so it was Suchit who was doing all the big hitting by the end of it. So it was a very, very interesting game for me. But glad that the Delhi Capitals, of course, won. But I'm pretty sad about the next Delhi Capital game we'll talk about. I'm sure it'll be part of your top 5. So let's come to that pain when it's needed.
That is actually my number 3. The game, the game between the Delhi Capitals and the RCB. Again, I would like to start with Avesh Khan. The way he bowled, brilliant. Super. I actually really am focusing on a few Indian players this season, because I feel with the T20 World Cup coming up, and maybe post that, we will as a country have another team which will basically go for these small tours to West Indies and Zimbabwe and whatever. But Avesh really well. I mean, with the way, especially the pitch was actually acting. You know, we had seen a game at Ahmedabad a day before, and then the next day, I think the way he bowled was really spot on. RCB did what RCB does. ABD, of course.
One man.
What I actually liked in the whole game was, I liked how Shimron hit my batted. You know, he actually played. Yes, he is ex-RCB. He came, played really well, and at a point of time, I was like, okay, this is gone. Okay, and I was actually watching the match on Select Dugout 2, which is where you have the Graham Swans and the Brett Lees and everyone talking. And Brett Lee said, the game is done and Delhi is going to win. And there was Brian Lara and Graham Swan. And they were like, no, RCB will win. And I was actually thinking, you know, this is done. They are going to take it because you have only 4 wickets down. Pant is batting, Hetmeyer is batting. But Siraj, the way he bowled, we won by 1 run. I know it's not allowed, but we won.
Yeah, points are points, man. Points are points.
2 points.
I want to talk to you about Harshal Patel, right? So we're going to come to another Harshal Patel moment. But this guy is the purple cap holder, 21, 22 games into the IPL, or 23 games now, actually. There's this argument about his junk wickets, and we saw what he got Prithvi Shaw out with. Like, it was a wide half tracker. Shaw's a short man. He did well to reach it and edge it to the keeper. You're talking about Avesh Khan. Now, Avesh Khan the way Avesh Khan's getting his wickets and the way Harshal Patel is getting his wickets, very different. But they also bowl at different stages of the game, right?
100%.
So, is it unfair to call Harshal Patel's wickets #junk wickets, like we like to call them?
I would not say it's unfair, but I would say, if you ask me, a bowler, like a mainstream bowler, Harshal Patel is more of an all-rounder than a bowler. You know, Avesh Khan is a bowler. You know, they bowl in the first 10 overs. If you see Kohli's tactics, Harshal Patel is bowling over 11, over 13, over 15, and then over 20.
And he's using him like Dwayne Bravo was used by Dhoni for years, right?
Yes.
And that's where the junk wickets concept came from. Bravo would pick up 4 wickets every match.
Yes. So I would not say it's unfair to call those junk wickets. It's totally cool.
The Kohli field placing to Rishabh Pant, the number of shots Rishabh Pant smacked to the lone fielder in the infield is just unbelievable. Even in the last over when it started, the first ball Rishabh Pant flicks and a foot there and a foot there, and it's gone for 4.
It's gone, for sure. It's right next to the fielder in the.
And it goes,
I think it was square leg.
To the fielder, and it happens again and again. And just sitting there as Delhi fans, we're like, this is just number 2. Rajat, tell me one number 2 highlight from
number 2 is Devdutt Padikkal's 100 and RCB's 10-wicket win against Rajasthan Royals. Unbelievable batting. Wow. I was mesmerized. I've of course seen him play last season. Great batsman, but wow, the way he played some shots reminded me of Yuvraj Singh, to be honest. Kohli actually talks about, Devdutt telling him that, go for it. I'll get many more chances to make hundreds and I'll have many more. And Kohli tells him, once you get one, then you can tell me that you can get more. But you've not got even a single one. So go get yours.
I think Padikkal is, one of those players who really has that something that fans will love a lot. He's just one of those players which I think in the few years, I think this match where he did score the 100 with Kohli, it was really sort of a coming of age moment, because even last year we heard of his story for the first time. Like last year was when we kind of got to know him a bit more. But it's very important, and of course I think he was down with COVID as well, so he came out from that. And I think it's just going to be a very important, considering that RCB kind of stay on the top of the league. It's going to be very important. He's going to play a very pivotal role in the batting lineup, and not just for RCB, but even for Team India. I think it's going to be a quite interesting journey that this young man might have.
Now we're going to come to number one.
Number one, and number one. Yeah, I think.
Tell us about number one.
It's Sir Ravindra Jadeja. Tormenting RCB actually in that game. 37 runs in 1 over. Wow.
Yeah, genuinely.
Yeah,
I mean, 37, not even 36. You're like...
I honestly wanted the last ball to go for a 6.
Didn't you guys lose a game to CSK with Jadeja at the crease of a last ball, no ball with 2 runs to win of 1 ball, and Jadeja scores 2 of 0.
Yeah.
And wins the match. And Dhoni tweeted about it, saying only Sir Jadeja can win a match with 1 ball left when they need 2 of 1 ball.
He's been picking up wickets regularly and important wickets.
Well, he got
Butler
wickets. Out against the Rajasthan Royals.
Exactly. So important wickets, and we all know what he can do in the field as a fielder. I think it was Simon Dool and Harsha Vogle talking about it, and they were like, he's the best fielder in the world, and I was like, okay, there's no award for any best fielder in the world. If you say there's a best bowler, there's a best batsman, but if you actually look at it, he is actually the best fielder, if you ask me, like in terms of outfield. So yeah, why not? But yeah, that was number one for me in the whole.
Jadeja is that one player who's, I think, always been of course he's been a part of pop culture. We've called him Sir Jadeja, and he's been Christian Dad, and he's been in so many ads and so many films. But this really, again, turns out to be one of those matches. It's like a retribution, or like it's again, it's something where you need these matches for these players, right? Like, you've had, I remember even Sehwag in the first few editions of the IPL used to have those 1 or 2 matches when Sehwag just used to click.
So there you have it, guys. That's all the on-field action that we've just wrapped for the last 2 weeks. We're going to go into a small break, and we will be back on the other side of the break with all the off-field action, right? So stay tuned, and we'll see you on the other side of this break. Welcome back from that break, and you're still watching Silly Point with Social. Off-field action, Shri, we're going to come to you because you're an off-field guy. I mean, there's been a lot of very distressing news coming out of India. I know we've only talked cricket at the moment, but obviously India is home for me as well, and you guys are there. So let's talk about what's going on off the field, particularly with stuff teams are doing with COVID relief and helping out the situation on the ground at the moment.
So I'm currently, as I stated, I'm in Calcutta, and we also have the elections going on right here. So the situation here, and of course with the other cities as well, especially Delhi, and even Bangalore for that matter, right now, it's quite distressing. And we are actually using Twitter. Twitter is being used as a tool. Twitter and Instagram, it's being heavily used as a tool to kind of get these resources. And Social as a brand itself, we're also kind of promoting our social cares, where we are posting verified resources, and if people want to kind of share it with their friends or want it at their beck and call, they can do that. So it has been a very difficult time for all of us in India, and of course cricket does offer that sort of respite. But then again, cricket, in my opinion, also has this larger, because it's such a big thing in our country, it has a larger larger gambit than just entertainment. And I'm glad that, players like a Pat Cummins, right? That's going to be my first point where I discuss what these players, individuals and teams, what they've been doing for COVID relief. So Pat Cummins, I think 3-4 days ago, at the time of recording, he did give $50,000. He did donated that to one of the funds. So that's of course a starting amount, and he did say that oxygen it's of course it's literally air, right? Like we all deserve air to breathe, and of course it's a really important resource for all the COVID patients. So kudos to him, like he really started the chain. And then we had Brett Lee, who was of course not part of the playing 11 now, but he's always a very popular figure, and he's much loved even in India. I think he's one of those international players who really has
and he's
worldwide
on dugout
following
as well, I think.
He's on dugout as well.
Yeah,
exactly. So he's always connected to the fraternity, and he surprisingly donated 1 Bitcoin, and crypto has really been the talk of the town for the past, I think, this year and last year as well, with NFTs and all of that. Coming to teams also, I was actually going through the teams and what they've been doing, and some teams they haven't really been outright with their what they're doing for COVID relief. But I just like to bring out 2 teams which are really doing well, in my opinion, or have really put it out that they have been doing all these support efforts. First one is Mumbai Indians. Secondly, I'd like to come to Delhi Capitals. Delhi Capitals, of course, tied up with Robin Hood Army. So those people who don't know Robin Hood, they're really, really popular in India now. I think they've gone global as well, but it's essentially they are into food management, and they are heavily in the food sector, the development sector rather. So they've been doing a lot of stuff, a lot of relief stuff, because meals have also been, let's say if you get stuck with COVID, your meals become something as simple as cooking a meal is very difficult. But Delhi Capitals have collaborated with them, and because I think ultimately, DJ, the point here is that these teams have a huge following, right? Like they have a huge influence. So I think it's imperative to for them to use their their partners, their brand partners. They have multiple partners, and they have so many people associated in the system. So I mean, I'd love to see more teams kind of coming out and supporting the cause, because sure, cricket has its own place, but when you're doing it for the greater good, I think it's good for everybody. It's a really responsible thing.
The counter argument to it is kind of the people need entertainment to lift their spirits, and if the IPL provides that and prevents them from stepping out, and there is a lot of doom and gloom. I have to say, I mean, myself, we're coming out of a 6-month lockdown, right? In London. So last week we talked about the Cred ad, right? And you talked, Shri, about one of your friends had written the ad and all of that stuff. Cred since very cleverly have milked that shoot a little bit more by releasing a YouTube video which is titled Rahul Dravid getting angry for 46 seconds. Now, if you're feeling a little bit down with all this news around, just go Google or YouTube Rahul Dravid getting angry for 46 seconds. Shri, how brilliant is that video, man?
I mean, it's great, right? Because you see what you really get to see in that. It's sort of a behind the scenes video, you can say, is that you see him, okay, Rahul, when he's being directed to be angry, and then you're like, you see that smile, you see how when he's let off the hook, and then you're like, kya kara rahe? Like, why? Okay, dude, whatever.
I felt that is the real Rahul Dravid, like those 48 seconds. I was like, wow, man. And I was like, I don't know how whoever made him do whatever they did in the ad.
Have you seen the Tanmay Bhatt vlog?
I was going to come to that. I was coming to the vlog. Yeah, I did see the entire vlog. Yeah. That was also supremely interesting. And I remember there was one conversation which I think Tanmay was having with Puneet, who's one of the people on the team. And he was like, Tanmay was like, he's such a good guy. And Puneet was like, yeah, but that's expected of him. Like, you'd expect Rahul Dravid to be that was on brand tha. Okay, he's a great, has to be very humble, has to be very kind. And that's all he was.
In my video, he actually refused to do one thing. So you guys should definitely check out the one thing that he actually refused to do. But again, we could do pretty much a whole show just fanboying over Rahul Dravid. We've got more to talk about, Shri. So number 3, off field, what's happening?
Yeah, so off field actually, DJ, it's like, the first one I'm going to start with is, of course, on Twitter. There was this, and again, this is yesterday's match. It was, this is the tweet that I read. It was the man of the match of CSK versus SRH, or the person that helped Chennai to win was David Warner. And I think we did kind of briefly touch upon that during one of the chats with Rajat as well. We were having that, it was because of he was just not getting, it was a slow start. And he did kind of apologize, I think, on his Instagram or his Twitter that it was a slow start. And it was really not one of his days to kind of get off to the Warner. So I mean, I'll just narrate a personal incident that I have with Warner. Again, I haven't met him or something, or I haven't asked him how he scored against Alan Donald in the 90s. But like I do. There was this fanfare among because I think when the IPL started, I was still in school, right? Like the first few seasons, I was still in school. Actually, a majority of it, I was in school. So David Warner used to be that one guy who was like we used to do our own local fantasy things. Like we didn't have fantasy. I mean, we didn't play it online, but we used to make our own teams and just do auctions in class and all that. And David Warner used to be that one guy. Boss, if you have him, he used to be the most expensive player and whatnot. If you have him, you're sorted. Like you're done. And now you're just seeing this player. I mean, I want to ask you guys: do you think that he's kind of wearing off, or do you think he's, of course, a star in his own right with TikTok and all of that? But what do you guys think about Warner right now with SRH and even his other games?
I honestly do not think that he is wearing off. Again, someone who can win matches on just his own. And I mean, I see him playing cricket for Australia in all three formats, to be honest. And as an opener in all three formats, at least for the next 3 to 4 years for sure. And I'm not seeing him go anywhere because he is explosive. Man, I mean,
yes,
the way this guy can bat, even in test matches, it's explosive. Yeah, I mean, not the best seasons, but again, if you saw the stats yesterday, he's the first player in IPL to reach 50-50s. Yeah, and the next one who's after him is on 39. Yeah. I think it's Raina, if I'm not wrong, or whoever. But Kohli is number 3. I don't think it's Raina, but whoever. But number 1 is Warner. It's 50-50s for him. But again, not every season can be his season. But there was one season when he was explosive. I think it was the season before the last one. I think where he got the orange cap and Sunrisers actually won also, if I'm not wrong. They won.
That one season,
they won the season.
2016,
2016, yeah, exactly. So I think he can bounce back for sure. But not his seasons for sure.
Yeah, he was pretty explosive when he used to play for the Delhi Daredevils. But you see, TikTok is banned in India. That's why maybe he's missing TikTok. Maybe he's missing that spark, right?
Yeah.
We'll see what happens when he goes back to Australia. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty odd for a player to come out and apologize for his things. I find all of this apology stuff pretty.
Yeah, I mean, it's a game, and it's. I mean, again, I think because of the trolling, and again, Twitter is, of course, just one of those platforms where people are just relentless, right? Like they just rain on you, and just rain on your parade. But I think SRH again, they're not having the best of seasons. They're just not. They're pretty much, I think, at the bottom of the table as we speak, or really in the fag end of the table. So that was there. But the next point, DJ, that I'd like to speak about was a really interesting point that Brian Lara, who's again one of the legends of cricket, West Indian cricket, and even international cricket, really. He spoke very critically of the Mumbai Indians. He said that I don't know what's happening with these guys. When are these guys going to take off? Because time is really ticking, and we've all been mentioning. Of course, we're happy we have Delhi, Calcutta, Bangalore in the house. So definitely a Bombay person is missing, and we're glad for that. But I think the Bombay team,
5-time champion.
That's it.
Well, end of conversation. What do you say after that?
That's the thing, right? Because Mumbai Indians, I think they're just, I won't say they're playing badly, but they're just misfiring. I think they're just always off the mark. Like they're not really hitting and of course you can speak about the pitches and how what the stadium is, what the Chennai stadium or the Chennai pitch really does. But it'll be really interesting what now that that phase is over, and now as we're going into at the Eden Gardens as well, we're gonna have matches there. So that's gonna be really interesting. But I mean, I'm very confused about what to feel with Mumbai Indians this season. Do you think that as an outfit they've just they're because the captain is still, of course, Rohit Sharma. He's a class captain. But what do you think these guys? Where are they going off the mark or off the track? I just wanted to get your perspective on that too.
Honestly, I think they'll qualify in top 4 for sure.
Oh yeah. I hope KKR steals that away from him, from them. But
no chance.
That's a difficult.
But KKR is fixed at 5.
No chance.
And then net run rate.
I think top 3 is already the top 3 that we have, and Mumbai takes the 4th place is what I see how it goes. What I actually want Mumbai is, to do is basically rotate their top order, man. Like Chris Lynn needs to play. I'm not sure where DJ sees that happening, but De Kock has just not been firing. And I just see Chris Lynn playing. Yeah.
It's true.
I'm a fully grown adult.
Yeah, but I think their top order needs. I mean, their bowling is spot on. They have Bumrah, they have Trent Bolt, they have the likes of spinners and stuff like that. But I think the batting, Surya Kumar Yadav also, he's played well. Rohit has played well, but they've not played great.
Yeah,
like we talk
it's
about
not been great.
the
yeah.
Dev. Yeah, like we talk about the Devdutt Padikkal innings, or we talk about De Villiers, or we talk about Maxwell, or we talk about Jadeja, or we talk about, all these players who played a great innings.
Stand out, yeah. There's not been
There's nothing till now, but I think they'll get into the top four because it's, as DJ said, 5-time champions. It's Mumbai. They'll go there.
But for me, actually, the big miss this season is actually Ishan Kishan, and he made the
yeah.
huge difference of momentum and strike rate and runs. I mean, he piled them on last year, man. He was outrageous last year. I think he averaged something like 57 over 150 strike rate. It was insane. He was a player of the IPL for me in 2020.
And before this season, the game he had against
England,
yeah,
where he opened the batting and he scored a 50 on his debut. I was like, okay, he is all geared up for IPL and he is going to take it by the storm. But
and I wonder whether the pressure of that India call-up, maybe that's in his mind. I don't know. Maybe he's worried about making the T20 squad. But he was there. He was their huge revelation last year. And you've got him and Sky and De Kock and Rohit as your top four. And then you've got Pandya, Pollard. It's just like, where do you stop? I'm actually scared for these guys to start firing, because once they start firing,
then they're gonna.
Yeah, and it's not like any of them are old or like they're out of touch or anything. They're all playing international cricket.
And I think lastly, DJ, from my list, what I have is a small little thing about the food part is that people really can't order stuff because of, again, coming back to COVID, we have all these bio bubbles and people ordering food online. They can't really get stuff, to the hotels.
I read about that. So they can't order from outside. They can only eat hotel food.
Hotel food, yeah. And of course, when I think the whole Australia thing happened last time when they went to a restaurant, that created the whole controversy, the bill, the Bill Gates controversy. I think that was Bill Gates. But no, I mean, surely the players can't get outside food delivered, but you can get food from social, because now we've actually started something where we have 25% discount on all orders. Earlier it was just 25% for your first order, but if you're there anywhere, in any of the cities which has a social, you can get it delivered safely to your place and definitely get some great munchies or drinks for the match and for the remaining season.
And is there a web link or an app?
Yeah, there is a web link. You can actually go to Social Offline's link in bio, or you can go to social.dotpay.in. We'll just give all those links and you can just get on to ordering. DJ, too bad for you, social isn't there in London.
Yeah, but you guys are coming soon, right? I'm already feeling hungry. Like my stomach is rumbling.
Right.
Thinking of food. But there you have it, guys. This was Silly Point, brought to you by Social, India's favorite cafe. Shrivar, Rajat, thank you so much for joining me and talking about all the action from the last 2 weeks of the IPL 2021. It's really getting quite interesting. We're about halfway through the group stage. So into May, right? And May will see you get into the death overs, and then you'll go into the
playoffs.
Playoffs. So
the finale.
It's going to be amazing. So guys, we will be back in a couple of weeks, rounding up all the action from the world of cricket, from the world of the IPL 2021, on the field, off the field, the smart decisions, the not so smart decisions, the predictions, and lots of other chatter. So join us. This is DJ, and I'm signing off. Shrivar, Rajat, thanks again for joining me, and see you in a couple of weeks.
Thanks so much.